I'm Emily, and I'm here to share my roller coaster of a story. Let me start by introducing myself. I'm a 29-year-old woman, happily married to my husband, Jack. We tied the knot 2 years ago, believing that we had found our forever in each other, Oh, how I wish things had stayed that way. It was a beautiful spring day when Jack and I exchanged our vows. Surrounded by family and friends, we made promises to support and love each other through thick and thin. The world seemed full of possibilities, and our hearts were brimming with hope. We both had successful careers at that time. I worked as a marketing executive, while Jack was a talented graphic designer. Our salaries were decent, and we had managed to save up a considerable amount. With dreams of building a life together, we decided it was time to invest in a place we could call our own. One sunny afternoon, we stumbled upon an enchanting apartment in the heart of the city. Its tall windows flooded the rooms with natural light, and the exposed brick walls added a touch of rustic charm. It was love at first sight. We knew we had found our dream home. With a twinkle in our eyes, Jack and I spent countless hours envisioning how we would decorate and personalize every corner of our newfound sanctuary. We scoured furniture stores, debating colors and styles, eager to make our mark on this beautiful space. "I can already see our cozy reading nook by the window," I said, smiling at Jack as we discussed our plans. "And that little corner in the kitchen where we can brew our morning coffee together." He chuckled and squeezed my hand. "It's going to be perfect, We signed the papers and moved into our new apartment shortly after. As we unpacked boxes and hung pictures on the walls, our excitement grew. It was a labor of love, turning a house into a home. Together, we built a life filled with love, laughter, and dreams for the future. Little did we know, our journey was about to take an unexpected turn, challenging our promises and testing the strength of our bond. After our blissful wedding, Jack and I embarked on a thrilling journey to find the perfect place to call our own. We were both successful in our careers at that time, which gave us the financial stability to pursue our dreams. One sunny afternoon, we stumbled upon an enchanting apartment in the heart of the city. Its tall windows flooded the rooms with natural light, casting a warm and inviting glow. The exposed brick walls added a touch of rustic charm, making the space feel cozy yet modern. It was love at first sight. As we stepped into the apartment, a sense of possibility filled the air. We stood in awe, envisioning our future within those walls. The open floor plan and spacious rooms offered endless opportunities for creative expression and personal touches. "I can already see our cozy reading nook by the window," I said, my eyes sparkling with excitement. "We can curl up there with a good book and a cup of tea." Jack smiled, his gaze wandering around the room. "And what about a beautiful study corner for me? I can set up my graphic design station right over there." We chuckled, lost in our shared vision of transforming this blank canvas into our dream home. We scoured furniture stores, comparing colors and styles, eager to find pieces that would reflect our personalities and create a warm and inviting atmosphere. "I think this vibrant blue couch would be perfect for the living room," Jack suggested, pointing to a display. I nodded, picturing how it would complement the exposed brick wall. "Yes, and we can find a cozy rug to tie the room together." Together, we carefully selected furniture, art, and decor, pouring our hearts into every decision. Each piece became a symbol of our love and commitment to creating a space that would reflect our shared dreams and aspirations. As the weeks passed, we transformed the empty apartment into a haven of comfort and style. We hung paintings on the walls, carefully arranged plants in the corners, and filled the rooms with soft lighting. It was a labor of love, and with each passing day, our bond grew stronger. "I can't believe this is our home," I said one evening, snuggling up next to Jack on the couch. "It feels like a dream come true." He kissed my forehead, his voice filled with warmth. "And build a beautiful life we did, cherishing every moment spent in our dream home. Little did we know the challenges that awaited us would test our love and resilience in ways we never imagined. After settling into our dream home, life seemed perfect. Jack and I were both successful in our careers, enjoying the stability that came with it. However, fate had a different plan in store for us. It started with a whisper that grew louder with each passing day. Jack found himself caught in the clutches of an unemployment struggle. The industry he worked in was experiencing a downturn, and finding a suitable job became an uphill battle. Days turned into weeks, and weeks turned into months as Jack tirelessly searched for employment. His determination and talent were undeniable, but the opportunities seemed elusive. The weight of disappointment bore down on him, and I could see the toll it took on his spirit. Meanwhile, I shouldered the financial burden, ensuring that our dream home remained intact. Every bill, every expense fell on my shoulders alone. The weight of the responsibility increased with each passing day, but I remained determined to support us both. One evening, as we sat at the kitchen table, the frustration seeped into our conversation. "I don't understand why no one is giving me a chance," Jack muttered, frustration evident in his voice. "I've sent countless applications, attended interviews, but nothing seems to work." I reached across the table, placing my hand on his. "I know it's hard, Jack, but we'll get through this together. You're talented and passionate. Someone will see that soon enough." He sighed, his eyes filled with a mix of gratitude and guilt. "I'm sorry, Emily. I never wanted you to bear this burden alone." I smiled softly, offering reassurance. "We promised to support each other, remember? In good times and bad. This is just one of those challenging moments, but we'll find our way." Days turned into weeks, and still, Jack's job search remained fruitless. The strain on our finances grew more palpable with each passing day, but we refused to let it break us. We held on to hope, hoping for a breakthrough that would bring stability back into our lives. In the midst of the uncertainty, our love became our anchor. We found solace in each other's arms, leaning on one another for support. Even in the face of adversity, our bond remained unshakable. As the months stretched on, a glimmer of hope began to emerge on the horizon. Jack received a call for an interview, an opportunity to showcase his skills once again. The excitement in his eyes was infectious, reigniting a spark of optimism within us both. I have a good feeling about this one," Jack said, his voice filled with renewed determination. "I'm going to give it my all." I squeezed his hand, a smile spreading across my face. "I believe in you, Jack. You've got this." And so we held on to hope, waiting for the tides to turn. Little did we know that our journey was about to take another unexpected twist, challenging our love and resilience in ways we never could have anticipated. Our lives had taken an unexpected turn with Jack's prolonged unemployment. As the sole breadwinner, I carried the weight of our financial responsibilities, hoping for a breakthrough that would bring stability back into our lives. But sometimes, life has a way of throwing curveballs when we least expect it. One evening, as I returned home from work, I found Jack sitting on the couch, his face pale and vacant. The smell of alcohol hung heavy in the air, a chilling presence that sent shivers down my spine. My heart sank as concern washed over me. I approached him cautiously, trying to decipher what had led him to drown his sorrows in alcohol. I took a deep breath and asked, "Jack, what happened? Why are you drunk?" He turned to me, his eyes filled with a mixture of anger and despair. "What does it matter? You wouldn't understand. You're always too busy taking care of everything while I'm left feeling useless." His words pierced through me like a knife to the heart. The pain of his accusation cut deep, and I struggled to find the right words to respond. But I knew that beneath his anger lay a sea of frustration and self-doubt. Tears welled up in my eyes as I mustered the strength to speak. "Jack, I've always believed in you. I've never thought of you as useless." This journey we're on is challenging, but it doesn't define who you are." He scoffed, his voice tinged with bitterness. "It's easy for you to say that. You're the one holding everything together while I'm just a failure. I don't need you here. You should leave." The room fell silent, the weight of his words hanging heavily between us. My heart ached, torn between the love I still held for him and the pain caused by his anger, but I knew that in that moment I had to prioritize my own well-being. I took a deep breath, my voice steady but laced with sadness. "Jack, I can't continue living like this. I can't bear the emotional toll of constantly being blamed for your struggles. I deserve better, and so do you. I think it's best if I take some time away from this toxic environment." His eyes widened, the realization of what he had done slowly sinking in. "No, Emily, I didn't mean—" I interrupted him, my voice firm but resolute. "It's not about what you meant or didn't mean. It's about the way your words and actions have affected our relationship. I need space to think about what's best for both of us." With a heavy heart, I packed my belongings, feeling a mix of sadness and determination. I needed to find my own strength to regain control over my life. As I walked out the door, I knew that this would be a turning point in our story. Little did Jack know, I had a plan brewing in my mind, a plan that would allow me to reclaim my independence and, perhaps, teach him a lesson about the consequences of his actions. After Jack's drunken outburst, I made the painful decision to take some time away from our toxic environment. I needed space to heal and to reflect on what was best for both of us. It wasn't an easy choice, as my love for him still lingered, but I knew I couldn't continue to bear the weight of his anger and blame. Leaving our dream home behind, I sought solace with a close friend, finding comfort in her support and understanding. As the days turned into weeks, I allowed myself to grieve the loss of the life we had built together. It was a time of introspection and soul-searching, a period of healing and rediscovery. During this time, a newfound strength began to emerge within me. I realized that I deserved better than a relationship tainted by anger and resentment. I deserved happiness and a future where I could thrive both emotionally and financially. With a renewed sense of purpose, I made the difficult decision to file for divorce. It was a painful choice, as it meant letting go of the dreams we had shared and acknowledging that our forever had come to an end. But I knew it was the right step for my own well-being and growth. The process of divorce was emotionally draining and filled with legal complexities. I had to confront the reality of dividing our shared assets, including our beloved dream home. As I prepared for the negotiations, a fire burned within me, a determination to reclaim my independence and forge a new path. One day, as I sat in a lawyer's office discussing the division of property, the weight of the decision settled heavily upon me. The attorney outlined the options, and I took a deep breath, bracing myself for the difficult conversation ahead. "I understand that the apartment holds significant sentimental value for both of you," the lawyer said, her tone compassionate. "But legally, we need to determine how it will be divided." I nodded, my voice steady but filled with sadness. "I know. I don't want to erase our memories, but I need to move forward. I would like to buy out Jack's share of the property." The lawyer reviewed the financial aspects, explaining the process and implications. The road ahead seemed daunting, but I was determined to regain control over my life and my future. After numerous negotiations and legal proceedings, the paperwork was finalized, and I became the sole owner of our once shared dream home. It was a bittersweet victory, as I couldn't help but feel the absence of the love that had once filled those walls. With the apartment now in my name, I felt a sense of empowerment, a reminder that I could rebuild my life on my terms. But there was still one final piece to the puzzle, a way to bring closure to the pain and hurt I had endured. In the division of assets, I made a deliberate choice. I decided to keep the one thing that held great value to Jack, his cherished car. It was a symbolic decision, a way for me to assert my independence and, perhaps, make him realize the consequences of his actions. As I sat behind the wheel of his car for the last time, I couldn't help but feel a mix of sadness and satisfaction. It was the end of an era, a chapter of my life that had come to a close, but it was also the beginning of a new journey, a journey where I would find my own strength and rediscover the joy that had been overshadowed by pain. After enduring the pain of Jack's anger and the subsequent decision to file for divorce, I found myself standing at a crossroads where I had the opportunity to reclaim my independence and seek the justice I felt I deserved. It was time to embark on a path of calculated revenge. With the apartment now solely in my name, I knew that Jack, who remained unemployed, wouldn't be able to keep up with the financial obligations. I saw an opportunity to turn the tables, to seize control of the situation, and, ultimately, to gain my revenge. I enlisted the help of a real estate agent, ensuring that the process of selling the apartment would be swift and seamless. It was a strategic move, one that would leave Jack without a place to call his own and force him to face the consequences of his actions. As the for sale sign was planted in front of the apartment building, I couldn't help but feel a mix of satisfaction and unease. Revenge, though tempting, wasn't a path I had ever imagined myself taking, but the hurt and betrayal I had experienced pushed me to take matters into my own hands. One afternoon, as I sat in a cafe sipping my coffee, my phone buzzed. It was a message from Jack, a rare attempt at communication since our separation. He wanted to meet and talk. Curiosity piqued. I agreed to the meeting, preparing myself for the conversation ahead. We met in a park where the breeze carried an air of tension and unspoken emotions. "Emily, I'm sorry," Jack began, his voice tinged with regret. "I've had time to reflect on my actions, and I realize now the pain I caused you." I listened, my heart torn between the love I once held for him and the anger that still smoldered beneath the surface. But I remained resolute, determined not to let his words sway my decision. "I appreciate your apology, Jack," I replied, my voice steady. "But apologies aren't enough to erase the hurt and damage that has been done." He nodded, his eyes filled with a mix of remorse and longing. "I understand that. But please know that I still love you, Emily. I made a terrible mistake and I want to make things right." I took a deep breath, summoning the strength to share my decision. "Jack, it's too late for us. The damage is irreparable. I filed for divorce and the apartment is being sold." His eyes widened, realization dawning upon him. "You're selling our home. But what about me?" A small smile played at the corners of my lips as I revealed my calculated revenge. "You see, Jack, since you're currently unemployed, you won't be able to keep up with the financial responsibilities of the apartment. By selling it, I can reclaim my independence and secure my future." Shock registered on his face, mixed with a hint of desperation. I paused, meeting his gaze with a firm resolve. "That's something you'll have to figure out on your own. This is the consequence of your actions, Jack. You made me feel small and insignificant, and now you'll have to face the reality of your choices." As I walked away from that meeting, I couldn't help but feel a mixture of satisfaction and sadness. Revenge wasn't the solution I had initially sought, but it became a means to assert my own worth and protect myself from further pain. Days turned into weeks, and the sale of the apartment was finalized. I used the proceeds to secure a new place, a fresh start where I could rebuild my life and find happiness once again. The path of revenge had led me to a newfound strength, an inner fire that fueled my determination to live life on my own terms. With the calculated revenge executed and the apartment sold, I had reclaimed my independence and severed the ties that bound me to a painful past. It was a bittersweet victory, as I couldn't help but mourn the dreams that had once flourished within those walls. But I was determined to turn the page and write a new chapter, one filled with self-discovery and joy. I settled into my new home, a space that radiated warmth and reflected my newfound sense of empowerment. The walls adorned with artwork, the rooms filled with pieces of my personality, and the air tinged with the aroma of hope. It was a sanctuary where I could heal and rediscover myself. As I embraced this new chapter, I also pursued my own personal growth and career aspirations. I invested in self-improvement, attending workshops and classes that nourished my mind and soul. I took on new challenges, seizing opportunities that would propel me forward professionally. With each achievement, I felt a sense of pride and a reaffirmation of my own worth. One day, as I was engrossed in a project at work, my phone buzzed. It was a notification of an email, a message that would mark the final step in closing the chapter of my past. It was the official divorce decree, a legal document that would formally end the marriage that had once held promise. As I read through the document, emotions swirled within me. Relief, sadness, and a newfound sense of freedom. I realized that I had triumphed over adversity, that I had chosen my own path, and found the strength to navigate through the darkest of times. To celebrate this moment of triumph and transformation, I decided to host a small gathering, a gathering of friends who had stood by me through the storm. They were my pillars of support, my cheerleaders in moments of doubt, and my reminders that I was not alone. As the evening unfolded, laughter filled the air, mingling with the clinking of glasses and the warmth of camaraderie. I looked around the room, a smile playing at my lips, and raised my glass for a toast. To triumph and transformation, I proclaimed, my voice tinged with gratitude. To the strength we find within ourselves and the unwavering belief that we can overcome any obstacle, here's to embracing the journey and living our lives authentically. The room erupted in cheers and applause, a chorus of voices joining mine in celebration of resilience and growth. In that moment, I knew that I had not only survived, but I had thrived. From that day forward, I continued to embrace life's adventures with a newfound zest. I nurtured my passions, sought new experiences, and surrounded myself with those who uplifted and inspired me. Triumph and transformation became the guiding principles of my life, reminding me that from the ashes of pain and heartbreak, we can rise stronger and more determined than ever before.